Welcome to the Business Behind the Scene podcast with Francesca Moi, where we talk all about real business problems, real solutions, and getting actual results in your business. Hello and welcome to episode number 194 of Business Behind the Scene. I love how many of you are reaching out to us and tell us all about how amazing your VA is and that you're loving the virtual assistant and you're loving this podcast because it's helping you to really get back the time, because it's important that we remember that. Now, our book is on progress. It's coming out in the next couple of months. We are halfway through recording of the book. I'm super excited. And one of the things that I was telling in the book was about the misconception of having a virtual assistant. A lot of people thinks that there is like not many benefits, and there is like, this idea that they've tried a VA in the past and it didn't work out, and like forget about it, it's too difficult. So we put it into the too hard basket, and that only person not benefiting from putting a virtual assistant potential idea into a too hard basket is us, the business owner, because then we are the only one person working around the clock and never get to leave that business that we always dreamed for, right? We started a business because we wanted to work, not working 9 to 5, and we started to work 24/7. It just doesn't work. The concept needs to be changed. And for us to do that, we need to really let go of these misconceptions and to really focus on the benefits of hiring a virtual assistant. So the misconception, the most famous thing that people tell me is, I don't know if I want to hire a virtual assistant because if they hire some VA that is like from the Philippines, for example, English is a second language, and they're not going to be that good, right? They're gonna make mistakes. They're not going to be that good, and I'm going to have to check on everything. So I'd rather it's faster if I just do it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, no. It's not faster if you just do it, because the actual English is a second language. They studied English from when they are little. Like, I didn't study English when I was little. My English sometimes is worse than my virtual assistant English. And they speak English all the time in the house, with family, all the time. So English is actually a very strong in the culture, in the Philippines especially. So do not assume that because it's a second language, they are not that they're good at it and they're going to make a lot of mistakes, because it's actually not that true. Then also nowadays there is things like Grammarly, and there's things like, so many tools that we can really have and use out there that can help you and your virtual assistant to really check on the grammar and on the spelling, so that you don't really have to worry about that. That should not be a problem. And the fact that they're not going to understand you, oh my goodness, they are going to understand you for sure, as long as like you obviously like try to speak proper English, not slang English, and just try to sort of understand that. This is funny because English is my second language. And sometimes I felt that in my life, that people would treat me less than them because English wasn't my first language. And it's like, wait a minute, this is my second language, actually third language. I speak Spanish, Italian, and English. So how many languages do you speak? And I don't mean to be rude, but it's like, why don't you, instead of judging someone that make a mistake in English, you don't appreciate that this is not a second language, and be like, good on you for even being courageous enough for learning a new language, speaking on a new language, working in a new language, writing and typing and all of that in a new language. Like, you're way braver than someone to speak only one language. So let's appreciate them, and let's understand that doesn't mean that they are less smart than us. Sometimes they're even smarter because they speak. There's a friend of mine that speaks 5 languages like fluently. I'm like, oh my goodness, you're a machine. And we learn a new language. It comes a lot of skills in the brain, right? You have to really think on the spot. You have to you have to be practicing. You have to be patient, because it's not easy to learn a new language. So I would say that if we shift from judging to appreciating and valuing the fact that they're speaking a second language, I think that we're going to be able to actually have a great relationship with our virtual assistant. So yeah, so the misconception, the biggest one, is what I was talking about slightly before, is like, they're going to have wrong grammar. They're going to speak like a Filipino, not like me. They're not going to sound like me. And I'm like, listen, they might not sound like you at the beginning, but with training and with lots of time together, eventually they will be. And it's not faster if you do it, because if you keep doing all your posts and all your social media yourself, you're never going to free up your time. But if you do it with them for a little bit of time until the point that they've got it, then your time is done, free up forever. So we need to focus on that part rather than focus on the fact that it's going to be easier if you just do it. And the other thing I wanted to share with you is the benefits, like, of having a virtual assistant that work remotely. They're obviously cheaper than someone locally. So I always talk about my my team, my clients sometimes ask me, Francesca, I'm wondering if I should get a marketing manager in-house or a virtual assistant. And I said, there's not a decision. The decision should be, should I get a marketing manager and a virtual assistant, or should I just, like, the virtual assistant is the doer, the marketing manager is the person leading. So I don't think it's either. Is like, you need both in a business. You need someone that can manage, and someone, sometimes is us, the business owner, and someone that can be the doer. And so that's the virtual assistant. As the business grows, you can have people managing the person, but also what I recommend, which is my favorite strategy, is how can we get a marketing strategist to come in the business, tell us what the strategy is for the year, and maybe give us like a meeting every 3 months or something like that to check the strategy and sort of give us some tweaks. And then the VA, the virtual assistant from the Philippines, then will be the person that will actually implement the strategy and actually be the doer of it, like one person in charge of it, of the whole implementation of it, which is, for me, is one of the biggest things. So hiring a virtual assistant here, is a lot cheaper than hiring a person locally. Sorry, a virtual assistant in the Philippines is cheaper than hiring someone locally, and it's going to give you more longevity, because a lot of the time virtual assistants are more loyal and more responsible of the role of a lot of people that we hire. And this is not judging or not anything. It's just that what we've noticed is that virtual assistants can stay long term, and they have a little bit less entitlement of as a person. Like they're not really expecting things. They're not there to be like wanting more and more and more and more. They're usually quite loyal, quite responsible, quite like keen and motivated to keep learning, keep growing, and keep giving the best to the business. Yes, they need a little bit of guidance, and that's why in our agency we have a supervisor to sort of help you managing the virtual assistant. But also, like, the other thing is that we are making a difference in someone's life that it's priceless. So we're not just giving someone a job, but we're giving an opportunity to change their life forever, and the possibilities are endless when virtual assistants get to work with us, with our obviously culture, and part of our agency, that we try to bring them into our world, into our business, sometimes into Australia. And it's such a beautiful opportunity that we want to offer to as many people as possible. So at the moment we have 50 virtual assistants, we have 56 clients, and we want to grow more and more and more. And we're very excited to be able to bring this beautiful opportunity to save time to business owners and change the life to virtual assistants. And that's the thing that we're very passionate about. Now, I wanted to remind you, if you're listening to all this podcast and you go like, oh my gosh, I really want to get a virtual assistant, get into a call with me. We can go through the brainstorm of tasks, understanding exactly what you need from a virtual assistant, what tasks they need to be doing for you, and we can rock and roll from there. It's going to be incredible for you to be able to see with your eyes what task a VA can take from your shoulders, what task a VA can do in your business that you haven't got time to do, and so that you can be able to see how much your business can grow by you be able to delegate in some of the things that you didn't have time to do, because let's be honest, you're just one person, right? You can't do it all. The other thing that a lot of people tell me is like, Francesca, I already got team members, why should I get a VA? I'm like, because your team members are very expensive here locally. So what you're going to do is to get an assistant to your expensive team members, so that you can again, they can delegate and they can focus on the money making activities, and your VA can do the admin for them. So remember that these are the thing that is always a way for you to save time. And if it's not for you, it could be for your managers, it could be for your people that you have in your business. And we have businesses doing that with us all the time. Just the other day, one lady has got a store. She's just got 2 virtual assistants to do orders, to do all the back-end admin, so that the people in the store can do more sales, right? Because they're going to be free to do fun things, videos and things they need to do to get more sales, to drive more traffic. So remember, part of it, you're listening to this, we're going to be we'll be announcing the draw winner on the next episode of the prize. We're gonna tell you what you need to be doing for you to then win something. So remember, you keep listening to us. We're gonna be announcing a prize that we have for the listeners to thank you so much for listening, and to understand more about you, so that I can bring more value into your lives. So thank you for listening to this podcast. Share it with your friends, and let's all win something this month. How exciting. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this amazing podcast. Now, if you enjoyed this, you're definitely going to love my Facebook group, where I've got over 11,000 people in it, and they're all business owners successful like you. It's called the Successful Entrepreneur Lounge, and in there I do classes every week, and I get to interview my clients, and I get to teach you all the things that I've done to get my business to 100K plus a month. So I look forward to have you in there. It's called the Successful Entrepreneur Lounge Facebook group in Facebook. I look forward to see you there. Ciao.